Broadcasting live from the Sweetwater Sound Studios. Experience the Sweetwater difference. This is Spectrum 23.9. Your home for variety beyond boundaries.
Welcome to Ready Football. I'm your host, Logan.
I'm Brennan.
We're here on a pretty lovely Monday night. Got a lot of football to talk about. When we were in just Thursday, we covered a lot of college. We got some recaps of the games that happened this past weekend for college football. Seemed like there were a lot of good games. A lot of teams that barely escaped some other teams. And then we'll cover some NFL from the past couple weeks. And then this week we got the Giants and Steelers going on right now on the TV. So, hey, football season. We're in the thick and thin of everything. It's getting excited in college football. Only a few more weeks. High school just started sectionals last Friday.
Yeah, that was cool.
For 1 to 4A classes. Man, that high school season flew by. So
it always does.
We'll have to try and talk to our good old friend Coach Tippmann from Snyder, maybe here in a few weeks once the season is over, and give him some time to take in how the season went and all, and
unwind a little bit.
Yeah, and we'll give him a little time, but hey, that time's coming up, and why don't we just get right into it? What do you want to start with tonight? College or NFL? Obviously football, but
let's go NFL. It's been a while. It's been the longest since we've touched on the NFL compared to college, and
that's true. So, when did we leave off?
It's a great question.
Week 6?
I don't even remember when week 6 was.
That would have been like the Niners and Seahawks on Thursday, I think. Jags and Bears played over in London that week, October 13th. I think this is the right week, because we didn't cover NFL last week. So, yeah, week 6, I believe. So, yeah, we'll go through, recap all these games. We may talk about a couple, but then we'll get to some recaps that we have written on the board of some topics, and then once we're done with the NFL, we'll move on to college. So to get week 6 started, the San Francisco 49ers beat the Seahawks 36-24. The Bears went over to London, I believe, and got a win against Jacksonville. 35-16. Buccaneers put up 51 on the Saints to 27. Ravens escaped the Commanders 30-23. Packers beat the Cardinals 34-13. Colts beat the Titans 20-17. Texans beat the Patriots by 20, 41-21. My Eagles beat the Browns 20-16. The Chargers beat the Broncos 23-16. Steelers beat the Raiders 32-13. Falcons beat Panthers 38-20. Lions put up 47 points on the Cowboys, who only got 9 that game. Bengals beat the Giants 17-7. Bills beat the Jets 23-20. Week 7, Broncos beat the Saints 33-10. Jags beat the Patriots 32-16. Lions, I'm pretty sure they got a last-second field goal against the Vikings 31-29. The Bills beat the Titans 34-10. Colts beat the Dolphins 16-10. Falcons lost to the Seahawks 34-14. Texans lost to the Packers 24-22. Bengals beat the Browns 21-14. Eagles beat the Giants 28-3. The Rams beat the Raiders 20-15. The Commanders put up 40 on the Panthers. The Panthers only got 7. The Chiefs beat the 49ers 28-18. Steelers beat the Jets 37-15, which that game was wild. I was listening to it. I think I was door dashing. And the Steelers scored, it was 34 points unanswered or something like that game.
Really?
Yeah, because I want to say it was like 15-3 or something, and then they started scoring. Jets didn't score at all in the second half, and it was a really good comeback for the Steelers. The Ravens beat the Bucks 41-31, and then the Cardinals beat the Chargers 17-15. And then this past weekend, the Rams beat the Vikings 30-20. Packers beat the Jags 30-27. Cardinals snuck out of Miami 28-27. The Patriots beat the Jets 25-22. The Browns upset the Ravens. Jameis Winston got the game-winning touchdown with, I think it was like 24 seconds or something like that left. They pulled off the win against the Ravens, 29-24. My Eagles went to Cincy and handled business, 37-17. The Texans beat the Colts, 23-20. I want to talk about this game.
That was an ugly one.
It was ugly, and there's a lot of drama going on with AR. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I it's listed up on the board.
he had this play where he said he did a lot of running. Pat McAfee said this as well. When was the last time you've seen a quarterback sub himself out?
Yeah, I have before, but unless it was for an injury, not very often.
Yeah. So, during the game, I didn't get to watch it, but I saw highlights. There was this play where AR had to do a lot of running.
Like winded himself out or something from that.
And he just tapping his head, subbing himself out. When was the last time you've ever seen a quarterback sub theirself out? And then along with that, to come out and say after the game, no, it wasn't due to injury. I was just tired. You are a professional football athlete. And I say athlete because he's an athlete. He can run, he can throw, he's
playing the most important position on the field.
He's a freak of nature. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I want to say it happened on a big third down too. Like,
I think so.
Stick in the game, get the play done. If you don't convert, you got a whole possession to get your breath back.
Yep.
So, I wasn't a fan of that. That kind of made me lose a little bit of respect for AR.
Yeah.
But I guess it is what it is. The Lions put up 52 on the Titans.
Titans are the Titans.
Who's worse, Titans or the Giants?
The Giants. Nah.
I don't know. The Giants are in close games. Titans have been getting blown out. In 2 weeks,
I don't
50.
know.
They got 52 points put on them, and then
I don't know how much of a hot take this is to say, but I would take
52 and 34 points put on them in the last 2 weeks. So
I would take Danny Dimes over Will Levis.
that may be the hottest take you've ever said. That's 86 points.
Are you telling me you take Will Levis over Daniel Jones?
I'm not sure, but
Let's be serious about this conversation now.
can I take someone else?
No, hold on. Hold on now. Let's talk about this. Will Levis or Daniel Jones? Be for real. Be so for real. Don't lie to yourself.
I'm not. They both
They're
suck.
divisional rivals. Get over it.
They both suck though.
Get over it.
Well, honestly, complete honest, I'm still not taking Danny Dimes. He wants way too much money. He's not worth the money he wants.
We're not talking like contracts or nothing. We're talking about like,
Well,
who would you trust more to go win a game?
neither.
If
I would
down
put
to those two quarterbacks.
I would put my punter in over them. I would put my out of shape self in before I picked up one of them.
Coach.
No, it's because they're both ass and I don't want them on my team. If I had to pick, I would probably go the younger person and just build around. You're really saying you would take Danny?
If we're talking about who would deliver more, if we're asking go win a game,
Neither. They can't win. Neither of them can
but
win.
I'm saying out of the two, who is going to have the higher chance to do it? They may not get done either way, but who's going to have the higher chance? You're going to tell me Will Levis does?
If you put Will Levis on this Giants team, I do feel like he would get more wins than Danny Dimes. Because Danny has talent on this team, and he cannot get the ball to them. Yes, offensive line has play in that. But we also need to take that nickname away from Danny because he throws dimes every once in a while. If we're going to call someone dimes, they should be throwing dimes every throw they pass. Am I wrong? He gets tripped by Ghost on that field at least once a season.
I cannot believe what I'm hearing. You would put Will Levis on the Giants roster and say they would have better success?
I mean, obviously they don't have that good of success with Danny, so yeah.
And you think it would be much better
They-
with Will Levis?
They brought in what the fuck's Tommy DeVito last year. Nobody knew of that man. And he got more production than Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes is not good. I would take most of the other quarterbacks. Most
other quarterbacks are not Will Levis.
Most backups I would take over Danny Dimes.
I would take backups over Will Levis.
Well, yeah, that's a given.
And you're putting Will Levis above both of them.
And Danny Dimes should both. Danny Dimes and Will Levis should both be backups. They should not be starters.
Finally, you said something smart.
But Tennessee is screwing Will Levis.
They just traded D-Hop.
Exactly. They traded his number one target. They are rushing his progress because they held on to Ryan Tannehill so long. He's mediocre at best. Once he couldn't get the job done, they're just like, oh, hey, rookie that likes mayonnaise in his coffee. Let's see what you can do. So his development's not doing great. Danny Dimes is in New York. Let's be honest. Even A-Rod in New York isn't doing shit.
Nope. Not even a little bit.
I'd much rather take fucking Jameis Winston over any of those 3 quarterbacks as of right now.
Yeah, he's actually producing.
Cold off of the bench. I would much rather bring Tim Tebow back.
The conversation was Dimes or Levis.
And I told you I would take neither. If I had to pick, it would probably be Levis.
That's not an option. And it's a wrong option.
Anyway.
Back on track.
I lost my spot. Oh, Titans. Yep. The Falcons went to Tampa and pulled out a win 31-26. Chargers beat the Saints 26-8. Bills beat the Seahawks 31-10. Commanders beat the Bears 18-15. I was at work when you sent me a text. I didn't see the play.
I watched it live.
You sent the play. Or you sent the text on my break. I do some research. He got lucky. The ball got tipped, and there was only one person in the end zone by himself, and he caught it.
And the dude that tipped the ball, when the play was snapped, his back was facing the line of scrimmage.
He was all the
end zone taunting the Commanders fans, waving at them and everything, and then hustles into the play, tips the ball right back to the Commanders receiver.
That was the angle I saw of the play. Like, I didn't even see like the broadcast view of it. That was the view I saw.
Dude,
I saw him taunting. I'm watching
Jaden Daniels run for his life before throwing that ball. I was like, he may not even get this off.
Can I take Jaden Daniels over Will and Danny?
Yeah, you absolutely can. But he's not part of that question.
That's why I'm asking if he can be.
No. Yeah, no, I honestly didn't even think he was going to get that pass off. I thought he was going to get sacked or something.
It looked like it, and then he booked it to the left and just started scooting up and getting ready.
When he threw it, he had so much air on that ball. I thought it was coming down at like the 10-yard line.
Yeah,
I was like, it's not making the end zone.
Dude's got a fucking arm, though. Hey.
And then
I hate him because he's a Commander and he's making them look really good. But let's be honest, who has the Commanders even played? Let's take a look. They beat the Bears. They beat the Panthers. They lost to the Ravens. They beat the Browns. They beat the Cardinals. They did beat Cincy, but Cincy hasn't really been that great. They lost to the Bucks. They beat the Giants. They play the Giants next week. So maybe they've played 2 good teams. I can't. They've played 2 good teams in the Bucks and the Ravens and lost. They got a 5-point win against the Bengals in Cincy. So that's saying something. Like, you went into Cincy and beat Joe Burrow and that team.
Granted, it's not saying much this year. Bengals
no.
haven't really shown much.
Cardinals, they've had some flashes this season, but not many.
Had one yesterday. And they came back when they beat the Dolphins by 1.
I mean, it's the Dolphins. Tua's first game back.
I mean, still, a dub is a dub. You take it how you get it.
Yeah. But honestly, besides the Ravens and the Bucks, they really haven't played anyone that's like people think are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think their 6-2 record is kind of fraud.
We'll revisit that statement after they play you.
Okay. Because the remaining of the Commanders' schedule, they have an easy schedule in my eyes. Because they just beat the Bears. They play...
Shouldn't have beat the Bears. Let's be honest. The Bears scored on a 4th and goal with 23 seconds left or something like that.
I don't know. They play the Giants next week. They play the Steelers next week, or the week after that. Then they come to the Link. Then they're home against the Cowgirls. They're home for the Titans. They go to the Saints. Home against us. Home against the Falcons. And they finish the season going to Dallas. 2 games against us are the hardest games that they have left on their schedule.
You could maybe argue going to Dallas because regardless of how they are, that's always a tough environment to play in.
Yes, but they haven't been doing good at home.
I mean,
they've been getting blown out at home this year.
The
Lions
went success going to Dallas in recent years either, though.
The Lions went into Dallas and scored 47 on them, held them to 9.
Okay, the Lions and the Commanders are very different.
The Ravens went into Dallas.
Jared Goff is that dude.
Yeah, he only had 85 passing yards this past game. And that's all they needed, and they still put up
Jahmyr
51.
Gibbs and David Montgomery are quickly becoming the best two-headed monster duo in the NFL.
I don't want to see the Lions in the playoffs. I don't want to see the Lions in the playoffs.
We really might live in a world where Detroit Lions might make a Super Bowl.
Who would have thunk? The Ravens go into Dallas a couple weeks ago, get a 28-25 win. Early in the season, week 1, I think, the Saints went into Dallas and put up 44. At home this year, the Cowboys are 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 0-3 at home this year. And 2 out of the 3 games at home were blowouts. They are not the same Dallas. They are not good at home this year. I'm thinking the Eagles could pull off the win in the Link and then go to Dallas, or pull the win off in Dallas and then pull the win off at the Link. See, look, this is why I don't want this Danny Dimes person. He can't even get away from TJ Watt. Well, I mean, that's not fair. TJ Watt's a beast, but gotta go back. Chiefs beat the Raiders 27-20. Broncos beat the Panthers 28-14. And the Niners beat the Cowboys 30-24. And then obviously we have this Monday night game with the Giants and Steelers. Tied up at 9 apiece. The Giants have the ball. Second half. Looks like there's about 10 minutes left in the third. 4th and 22. The Giants just punted it away. And he got rocked on that sideline when he caught the punt. So, anything else you would like to touch up on from this past week in the NFL?
I think we hit all of it from this past week.
What's that QB problem? Is that just touching up on
Flacco,
AR?
Yeah, with should Flacco be the starter over AR, given what we saw against Tennessee? You think so?
Flacco's came in and produced.
That's
Look at what he did at the end of last season.
I saw a stat: the least accurate passers in NFL history. Out of the 4 of them, Anthony Richardson's like second from the bottom. Jamarcus Russell had a higher completion percentage than him at this point.
That man had an arm, but he was not accurate.
He's completed 44% of his passes.
That is ferocious. So, let's do the upcoming week. Oh. There was something about the Saints and Chargers game that I wanted to talk about.
Oh, the Justin Herbert
tackle. Are the Saints going on bounties again?
That's what I'm wondering.
And that offensive lineman for the Chargers, he came in and said, "Bitch, get off of it."
Yeah.
I saw a TikTok of like him doing an interview about it, and he was like, he was alligator rolling, ball was out, he was still rolling, so I jumped in. And as soon as he got on the defender, you see Justin Herbert get up and try to pull him off. Like, nah, man, let the big man handle business. Like, that's his job as an offensive lineman. And I was honestly telling my wife this morning, like, as an offensive lineman, because I did play offense, defensive line, a lot of different positions. But majority of my career, I was offense, defensive line. Played all 5 positions on offensive line. Before the snap, before the game, during the game, after the play, after the game. Offensive linemen are basically all-time security for the quarterback. You want that quarterback to stay healthy. You don't want anything to ever happen to that quarterback. I would have done the exact same thing. If I see someone trying to intentionally hurt my quarterback, you better believe I'm jumping on him too. I think the NFL should look into it because of the Saints' pass. That was very intentional. And it may just be because also Herbert is from Oregon. I'm a huge fan of him. Don't want to see anything bad happen to him. Mm-hmm. But that was a dirty ass play. And I don't think a flag was called on it.
I think it might have been on the what's the word I'm looking for? On the retaliation of the lineman.
I didn't see anything about a flag on that play, so I'm not sure.
I didn't either. I wouldn't have been shocked if they did throw one, though, after the play.
No, I wouldn't have been either, but... Alright, I forgot about that. Let's get into Week 9, which is coming up starting Thursday, October 31st on Halloween. We got CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans going to MetLife to take on A-Rod and the Jets. Well, we can probably mark that up as a Texans win.
Yeah.
The Saints go to Carolina, take on the Panthers. Commanders go to MetLife on Sunday for the Giants. Dolphins make a trip up to Buffalo. Chargers go to Cleveland. Patriots go to Tennessee. Cowboys go to Atlanta. Bears go to Arizona. Jags come to the Link. I think I skipped a couple games. Raiders go to Cincy. Broncos go to the Ravens. I said Bears go to Arizona. Jags come to the Link. Take on my Eagles. The Rams go to Seattle. Lions and Packers, which that should be a good game. Colts go to Minnesota. And then Monday night, you got Buccaneers and Chiefs. I don't know how true it is, but I saw something come through on X saying that the NFL sent Baker Mayfield a warning letter because of those Zen pouches he had on the sideline a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Their tobacco product, whatever. They're banned from sideline. Baker doesn't care.
No.
Motherfucker's going to be popping them.
He's Baker.
That's who Baker is. Like, that should be a really good game. The Bucks and Chiefs Monday night.
Man, I miss Mini Baker.
I don't know why, but
Anything?
I don't know why, but something, I was doing something and I was like, I wonder what Axel's doing. Is he in jail? What's he up to?
You cannot say that on the air.
I mean, he was a troublemaker.
Oh my lord.
I want to say I was moving stuff in the garage and I saw, no, I was cleaning out the house and I saw one of the old football rosters from when we coached. And it was that year's freshman team. And I was like, I remember him. I remember, hey, it's Axel. Wonder what he's up to. So
yeah, I think that a lot about Shane Lee.
Yeah. There's actually one of the players from our first year I don't work with. He's on a different shift, but he works at Parkview also.
Oh, really?
So me and him catch up every now and again and whatnot. Talk about the season and all that. So it's been a nice trip down memory lane every once in a while talking to him. Definitely makes me miss coaching. But getting off subject, that is this upcoming week for the NFL. Sounds like we should have some decent games. Sounds like we should have some pretty horrible games, ugly games. So we shall just see how they unfold. And I don't think we have anything else for the NFL. So I will let you kick off college.
Man, college, this wasn't a crazy week of college football. It was a good week. Nothing really crazy happened. Or like nothing really out of the unpredictable. The Navy, I did pick Navy to upset Notre Dame. That didn't work. No. That aged about as good as milk.
When did you realize you made the wrong pick?
Halftime.
What was the score at halftime?
I don't know, a lot to a little.
17 plus 14, what? 30?
31.
31 to 7. And then it ended up being 51 to 14. I mean, that was Navy's first loss, though. They were on a hot streak. They were ranked. I think we both took a gamble on Navy. And also, Notre Dame hasn't been playing great. They've won some ugly games that they probably should have lost.
And I will say, Notre Dame, it's tough because in my eyes, Notre Dame has performed well, especially this week and how they handled Navy.
Oh, this week, yeah, they definitely played well, but
I think they did it enough to where we cannot hold that Northern Illinois loss to them, or hold that loss over their head anymore. I think they've done enough redemption coming back from that.
You don't think that game against you guys was enough redemption?
Shut up. Okay? Shut up. I've blocked that from the deepest recesses of my mind. I don't even... What Notre Dame game? What are you talking about?
The one that you left, like, third quarter. Y'all got beat 66-7, September 14th.
I don't recall. What are you talking about?
Oh, typical Purdue fan.
Every loss bleeds the same.
I don't know. I guess I just hold Notre Dame to a higher standard.
I think, well, here's the thing, too. There's still, 5-6 games left of the regular season. So now, now is when they're really, now is when the main title contenders, this is where the title contenders are really going to start separating themselves from the rest of the pack. This is where, because right around this time, in the next, I think, week or two, is when the playoff polls are going to start coming out. Then that's when the heavyweight contenders are going to start separating themselves from the rest of the pack. Texas, Oregon, Georgia,
I think
Alabama.
we're already doing that now.
That's what I'm saying. But now is like when you're really getting to the meat of your schedule. Like
Notre Dame has 4 games left. And they should win all 4.
Oh, they definitely should.
This upcoming week, they host 1-7 Florida State. Then they host Virginia. Then they host Army. And then they go to USC last week of the season. For their last game.
Yep.
They should win 3 out of 4. If not 4 out of 4. So... with that being said, they should finish either 10-2 or 11-1.
That would be enough to get them.
They're ranked 8th, so they're already in.
Yeah, I think at least winning out would be enough to put them top 5, top 6. 2 loss, maybe top 7, top 8. Okay. I really, really, really did not want to have this argument today.
Hold on. Before you get too far, I did see something about Notre Dame in this past weekend.
Well, this ties into the rankings.
Okay, no, just hold on a second. So, I took screenshots. You can see, right? Notre Dame has scored more touchdowns in MetLife than the Jets.
Did he just run that punt back?
It looks like he did.
It looks like a toddler running with a phone. It's like the parent chasing the kid. Bring my phone back here. The kid's just running through the house.
The Steelers just took a punt back for a touchdown. It is... 16-9, 17-9?
16-9.
16-9 with 4:38 left in the third. But Notre Dame and the Navy played at MetLife this past weekend, right?
Yep.
Notre Dame has scored more touchdowns in MetLife than the Jets and Giants combined. Notre Dame scored 7 touchdowns in one game. The Jets have scored 5 touchdowns in 3 games. The Giants have scored 1 touchdown in 4 games in MetLife.
I wonder how many Purdue scored in the last 5 period. You know what? I don't
more than the Giants, at least.
I guarantee probably not.
They haven't scored more than a single touchdown?
Which week are you asking? Nebraska?
You said within the past couple weeks. I know you guys have scored.
Well, okay, if you take out the second half of the Illinois game, we got shut out against Oregon.
Yeah, you did. You're welcome.
We lost 52-6 at Wisconsin the week before Illinois, and we only got 2 field goals out of that.
Hold on, I'm gonna get there for you.
Nebraska was before Wisconsin. That was, 28-10? But we got a garbage time field goal, or we got a garbage time touchdown. So I almost don't even want to count that, because without that garbage time, it would have been 28-3.
You guys lost 28-10 against Nebraska.
Yeah.
You said take away the Illinois game.
The second half of the Illinois game.
Second half of the
'Cause
Illinois
then that's
game.
still 24-3 at halftime.
Yeah. So, you guys have one touchdown. You guys lost to Oregon State 38-21, so that's 3 touchdowns right there. So that's four touchdowns within the past month, which Jets, again, the Jets have gotten five touchdowns in 3 games, which is 3 weeks, almost a month.
That's so bad.
And the Giants have only got 1 touchdown in MetLife in 4 games in MetLife. So you guys are at least doing better than the Giants. Good job.
Our points came on the road. It wasn't in Ross Aid.
It doesn't matter. You guys have still got more points than the Giants.
What, like 2 more?
Doesn't matter. Still doing better than.
Not impressed.
Still doing better than Danny.
All right, moving on from Notre Dame Navy. IU 8-0.
Yeah.
For the first time in program history. Don't ask me how I'm feeling.
Oh, I already did, and you ignored me.
I had to watch College Game Day
I asked you.
in Bloomington.
I sent you a text. I was like, "How's College Game Day making you feel?" Or how sick is it making you feel, or something? And you didn't answer me, and I was like, "Ooh, this man is salty."
The amount of Purdue signs I saw in the crowd, it just, how? They have one. Year's not even done. They have one good start to a year, and they get game day. Granted,
They're ranked in the top 15.
fair.
They are unfortunately leading the Big Ten since we had a bye week. We're technically a game behind them.
Until they play Ohio State.
Let's hope Ohio State can beat them.
Ohio State has an uncanny ability to show up in big games, though.
They choked against us.
Choked, yes. Showed up, yes. The game still could have gone either way.
They could have.
Ohio State still very much could have won that game.
They could have, but mistakes were made by Will Howard.
Yeah, they were. But, I don't know. Ohio State's always blown out Indiana anytime they played them, too. The last time IU came to Columbus when they were ranked 10th in the country COVID year. 2020. They came to Columbus and got their asses beat.
Yeah, but I don't think Indiana's had a team like this since when?
COVID year.
I say this team's a lot better than that COVID year team.
I don't know.
This IU team looks nice.
They do, but here's the thing. What's the overall record of all the teams that they've played on their schedule up to this point?
Buy some time and give me a moment.
Because up to this point, you could probably argue their 2 best games, or their 2 best opponents that they played outside of Washington this past week, who was 4-3. Outside of Washington, you could argue IU's 2 best opponents that they've played to this point in the year were Maryland and, who is the other? Man, now I'm thinking. Nebraska. Granted, beat up Nebraska. So they beat up Nebraska. They beat up Maryland. Granted, those two teams are not really looking like world beaters right now. Now, I will say, I will give Nebraska props. They just went into Columbus and lost by 4. With a true freshman quarterback starting. That goes about as well as you could ask for if you're Nebraska. Granted, you love to come out of that with a win, especially with the targeting call that extended the last drive. Now, I think with that circumstance or with that situation, though, with that last drive, Dylan Raiola probably does put that ball in the end zone, or at least get them to a point where they can score a touchdown instead of throwing an interception if he has more game experience and more, overall game maturity. So those situations, I think, will come with experience for him. But like I said, I'm still gonna give Nebraska flowers. They went into Columbus, gave Ohio State a hell of a game, one that I really thought Nebraska was gonna win at the end. But it's like I said, and Nebraska's defense very veteran led. They're probably the strength of that team is their defense. I mean, they shut out Purdue for 3.5 quarters. Granted, that's not saying much. We suck so bad this year. Nebraska, outside of Washington, Nebraska and Nebraska and Maryland have probably been IU's best opponents to this point in the season.
Yeah. Because they've played FIU, Western Illinois, UCLA, Charlotte, Maryland, Northwestern, and Nebraska, and Washington. And then they go to East Lansing to play Michigan State this week. I am still working on the math for the record, so still bear with me. I am almost there. It is not looking good, though.
See? Now, I hate to do this. I so hate to do this. 8-0 is 8-0. Now, this is what I was going to get into when we were talking about the rankings. IU is 8-0. Oh, dude, I don't want to do this. I don't like this. Oh, man. They're 8-0. They're still ranked outside the top 12. There are teams inside the top 12 with one loss. Now, granted, you can probably chalk this up to strength of schedule. But what did I just... 8-0 is 8-0. And I've seen so many people say if IU had a block M or they had like their logo started with an A or a block G or something, they'd be ranked in the top 5. Top 5, top 6, top 7. Right or wrong?
Yeah, you're definitely right. It seems like it's unfair just because they're not a powerhouse in football normally, that they're kind of...
Normally? They've never been. They won their first ever bowl game as a program in 1979. Their last bowl win was 1991. That was 8 years before I was born.
Yeah.
They're the first D1 team to reach 700 losses. Now, granted, I don't want to dive too much into the rankings because we're gonna get into those.
I was just about to say, try and hold off on that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be getting into the rankings at the end of the show. That'll be the last segment. I just touched on this game though. Moving on from IU and Washington, IU comes out and handles business. Game days in the crowd. Pat McAfee, Nick Saban, the whole gang is there.
Pat, man, wherever he goes, he gets that. He said, Hoosiers? And the whole crowd just lost it. And I'm like,
I felt really bad for laughing though, because the kick for cash thing that they do on game day. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, I didn't see the IU one though.
They had to. I feel so bad for laughing because it's really not funny. They had to bring out a backup student kicker because the kid that got chosen to do it tore his ACL during warm-ups.
Hate to see that.
And the kid that replaced him shanked both of them left hard. He had a chance to win like $600K. Or no, it was not that high. It was like 150 or something like that. I felt so bad for laughing, but I was like, dude, what are the odds? So, game day's there. Congratulations to IU, I guess, for, whatever. Deserved, maybe not, maybe up to you to decide. Cool for the state outside of Notre Dame to have someone represent game day? Yeah. Pretty cool outside of someone other being Notre Dame. But congratulations, I suppose. Whatever.
That record all combined you asked for?
Yeah, let's hear it.
26-37. 26-37. Yeah.
Wow.
I never said that they played anyone good.
Wow.
Their best opponent that they have played,
Washington, probably.
Nebraska at 5-3.
Okay, are we going to talk about
And then
best being by record, or are we going to talk about best being by margin of defeat?
I'm going off the record.
Because if we're going off margin of defeat, it is not Nebraska.
No, because Nebraska is 5-3, and then you got Washington and
Which Washington, I think, is 4-4 now.
I think UCLA or Maryland. They got another team that they beat who's 4-4. You got a few 3-5 teams. You got a 2-6 team and a 2-5 team. So they haven't really played anyone, but this IU team can put up a lot of points. The highest that they have gotten this season,
80.
Where'd it go?
It was 80.
It was 77.
I thought they hit the 80 mark.
Nope.
They were just short of it? I swear they actually hit it.
They beat FIU 31-7, beat Western Illinois 77-3, beat UCLA 42-13, beat Charlotte 52-14, beat Maryland 42-28, beat Northwestern 41-24, beat Nebraska 56-7, and beat Washington 31-17. Are you thinking of South Alabama putting up 87?
Maybe, but I could have sworn IU legitimately hit 80 on Western Illinois. I thought they did.
Nope. It was 77.
But moving away from IU, because I'm done talking about them. I can't do it anymore. It's bad for my health.
I'm surprised you went this long.
It's so bad for my health. I can't keep doing it. Props to them, I suppose. You guys did your thing, I guess. Whoop-de-doo. We'll see you at the end of the year when you hang 80 on us. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I just recapped this game as you were going through the list. Ohio State escapes Nebraska at home, 21-17. Really, really underwhelming game from that offense. That running game was nowhere to be found, which was so shocking considering who's in that backfield for them.
I didn't get to watch it. Nebraska does have some big boys on the D-line, though.
No, they do. But I'm not going to lie. It's a D-line that gets pushed around. Purdue's offensive line pushed them around.
And that's the confusing thing. Their defense could be good with all those big bodies up front. But they get pushed around way too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was kind of shocked that Ohio State didn't put up more points on Nebraska. Again, I didn't get to watch that game.
No, but it's like I said, though. That was the most surprising thing coming out of that game is Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson in your backfield, and you're combining for less than 3 yards a carry.
I mean, oh, never mind. I was looking at the wrong one. They only had 64 rushing yards.
That ain't Nebraska. That'll cut it.
Nebraska
Georgia
had 121 rushing. 152 passing. Ohio State had 221 passing.
Interesting.
Total, Ohio State 285. Nebraska 273. Only 12 more yards than Nebraska.
Interesting. What did I say?
They averaged 2 yards more per play than Nebraska, 6.1 to 4.1. Nebraska actually had more first downs by 7, 18 to 11. They went, talking about Nebraska, 5 of 16 for third down, 0 for 1 for fourth down, 66 total plays. What's the time of possession?
Probably favors Nebraska too.
35 minutes and 7 seconds. And then going to Ohio State, 11 first downs like we talked about.
I thought you were about to say 11 minutes. I was about to be like, holy shit.
No. 1 for 10 third down compared to 5 of 16. They went 1 for 2 on fourth down. Keep in mind, Nebraska had 66 total plays. Ohio State had 47. Nebraska had 6 punts. Ohio State had 5.
Hey, I can't laugh at that, though, because Ohio State still won the game.
They both threw an interception. 35 minutes, 7 seconds for Nebraska. 24 minutes, 53 seconds for Ohio State.
That's
so,
almost 11-minute differential.
Almost 11 minutes. Just about 10, 15-ish seconds away from 11 minutes. Ugly game. Ugly game for Ohio State.
Not up to Ohio State standards on all. And it's like I said, it goes back to the offense.
But yet, Ohio State's ranked 4th.
What did I tell you?
Sitting there at 6-1, still ranked higher than IU. Let's talk about this next game, though.
All right, the Oregon one.
Yeah,
I mean, it was like I said with the Ohio State one. The offensive line was an issue in that game.
We held it down.
Oh yeah, when you guys played Illinois.
38-9.
I didn't see anything about the game. I just saw the final score of it, and I was like, holy Christ.
Dude, there was this run. Dylan Gabriel he fucking stiff-armed this dude and walked in for a touchdown. He had 3 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. He went 18 for 26, 291 passing yards. Tez Johnson had a good day, 6 receptions, 102 yards and a touchdown. Jordan James is doing Jordan James stuff, 15 carries, 83 yards. Dylan Gabriel had 3 rushes for 5 yards, but a touchdown, averaging 1.7. He may be small, but he's a thick small.
Jordan Love?
No, Dylan.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when I saw him doing that run for the touchdown and watching him stiff, I thought the Giants were taking that back.
When did it become 23-9?
Apparently just now. I don't know. The hell is it? What the hell was that?
Just pop back out. Dude, what are
Hey, Russell.
What are these animations they got for the NFL now, dude? These are so stupid.
They just showed a graphic and had Russell Wilson go
The
into
Homer Simpson disappearing into the bush meme.
He just floated back into the bush and then popped out. Oh man, that's funny.
No, Oregon came out and handled business. I didn't see anything about the game though.
Oh my gosh. So Tez Johnson, 6 receptions, 102 yards, averaged 17 catch, right? Our next receiver behind him was Lowe, 2 receptions, 51 yards, averaging 25.5 and a touchdown. Patrick Herbert showed out, averaging 24 yards a catch, 2 catches for 48 yards. And we did this. We didn't even have our best tight end, Ferguson. And we still put up 38 points. Evan Stewart didn't get much love. Holden came back and only had 7 yards. But it was a really good game for Oregon. Illinois.
It was the kind of game you expected Oregon to have.
It was.
I mean, granted, Illinois is no scrub team by any stretch. They're ranked 20 coming in to that game.
It says 24th, but that could just be updated.
It could be.
So I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure what they were going in. I want to say they were like 20 to 24.
I think so. But Oregon did come out. They handled business the way they're supposed to. Same can be said about Bama, too. Bama came out and made a statement against Missouri.
34-0.
And this was exactly the kind of response Are you good?
Did you know BYU was ranked in the top 10?
Yeah.
Did not. They are ranked 9th.
BYU is good this year.
They snuck out from UCF, but I did not know they were ranked 9th.
Oh, they're good. They're good.
I need to watch some of their highlights then. I don't know anything about them yet this season.
No, this Bama game was a really big game with how they responded from that Tennessee loss last week. This was exactly...
I mean, they also played Missouri. Like, when was the last time Missouri was good?
I mean, they were ranked in the top 10 at the start of like the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season.
They usually start off good, but then
they finished in the top 10 last year.
Did they? I thought it was more like top 15 or 20. Okay, I guess I'm mixing up teams.
They were like 8 or 9, I think, because they played Ohio State in that bowl game.
Oh, that's right.
And the rankings were like 1 apart.
That's right, yep.
And Missouri won that game. Granted, they won because all of Ohio State's starters sat out. Otherwise, Ohio State's running them off the field. I'm sorry.
Hey, there's your boy Tracy.
My boy.
Looks like he may have just got a touchdown.
Yeah, big one, too.
About 50-ish yards.
Dude, he hits that cutback. There's nobody.
Did he?
Oh, he's in.
It looked kind of like a...
First touchdown in last 24 drives for the Giants.
What did I tell you? Danny sucks. He didn't even get the touchdown.
Now, what the fuck was that play call? Genuinely trying to figure that out.
Why would you do a screen right there?
As a 2-point conversion. What are you... Yeah.
Oh, are you mad?
Like, what are we doing? What?
He wasn't even open. The defender was right there before he even threw the ball.
What is that play call?
And you say you would take him. He makes dumb decisions like that almost every game. The defender was already in neighbor's face, and he tries to, I'm still going to just throw it as soon as I get it. Probably didn't have fingers on the laces.
First off, watch that play and watch the line of scrimmage. I promise you that is designed the way whatever they just did. Second off, whatever that was is on the coaches far before it's on Daniel Jones. Be so serious about what you just watched and tell me who's taking the blame for that.
Daniel could have kill.
Are you calling more than one play for a 2-point conversion?
If the first play is a receiver screen and it's set up like that, yeah, I'm going to get out of that. Because why would you call a receiver screen for a 2-point conversion anyway? You want something...
Guess who didn't call 2 plays for that? The coaches.
I would have at least done like a bubble instead of just a normal screen.
They didn't even line up in standard formation for it either.
No, it was some odd formation.
And so you're going to tell me that's on Daniel Jones before the coaches?
No, it's on the coaches too. But they're the Giants. They suck.
Yes, they do. Because of their coaches.
And their quarterback that they overpaid, who is not worth it.
Overpaid and not worth it, yes.
And that's why they lost Saquon. And Saquon was the heart and soul of that offense. And they're just, go see what you're worth. And then come back to us. Motherfucker, if I go out that door to see what I'm not coming back to this shithole, is what I would have told them.
Let's get back on track. We were talking about Bama here.
Yeah, I don't think there's really much more to say about it. They blew out Missouri. It was a statement win. They're still ranked 14th, still out of the playoffs.
Bounced back after that loss to Tennessee.
Texas, though, barely getting out of Vandy. What? Vandy?
I don't know what Vandy's on this year.
They're 5-3, and
they're playing top 5 opponents like I've never seen. They're playing top 5 opponents like Purdue with Jeff Brom. You beat Alabama by 5.
They held Texas to a field goal only in the last 2 quarters. A field goal in the third and a field goal in the fourth.
They kept that thing in striking distance. It was at one point, it was a 24-10 game. They brought that
at halftime.
back.
No. It was 20.
No, it was 24-10.
That must have been before they got their touchdown in the third. Because half it was 21-10. Texas got a field goal in the third, and then Vandy got a touchdown in the third. So they must have got the field goal before the touchdown.
I think they did. Because they scored and cut it to a 7-point game in the third quarter.
They made Quinn throw 2 picks.
Vandy, dude, they did the same thing to Jalen Milroe. Vandy's secondary's kind of elite.
Their quarterback must be the heart and soul of their offense.
Dude, I love that kid. He is awesome.
I haven't watched, but he went 16 for 29, 143 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Vandy, we fucking turned.
He's also the leading rusher from this game. 16 carries, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Diego!
Dude, Vandy, I love seeing Vandy be good this year. I think that's so good for college football.
Especially because they haven't been relevant because they play in the SEC. If they were in like the Big 12 or the MAC or like Sun Belt, like maybe even the ACC, because especially this year, if they were in the ACC, their only competitor may be Miami. I'm trying to think who else is in the ACC.
Well,
North Carolina.
I would argue
Clemson,
Boston College, but they've lost 3 or 4 straight now.
Clemson.
They're looking good.
They're 6-1 overall, 5-0 in the conference, and they're on a 6-game winning streak. Miami's undefeated. SMU is 7-1. Pittsburgh is 7-0, and then it drops to 5-3, 5-3, 5-2, 5-4, 4-4. Duke is 6-2. So even if they were in the the ACC, Vandy could possibly win that. Let's move on to the next game. Florida State gets handmandled by Miami.
Handmandled?
I mean, it kind of goes with Florida State. It's not making any sense.
Florida State is Florida State. They suck.
Florida State is actually... Let me pull this screenshot up. Is the first team to start 1-7 following a 12-0 regular season. And the last 70 years. They suck.
You know who sucks just as bad?
Purdue. I'm sorry.
You're not wrong. Before the Illinois game, let me just run through this. We went 3 and out on 45% of our offensive drives.
Don't do this to yourself.
Out of 134 FBS teams in Division I college football, we were 129th in passing yards a game at 112. That was an average, by the way. Running the ball, I think we averaged like 60 to 70 yards on the ground. Somewhere around there. Terrible. Our defense. Oh boy. Our defense. We have given up, as outside of the Indiana State game, the only game that we have not given up 30 points this year was Nebraska, and they scored 28. Every other team we've played this year has put over 30 on us. Cannot tackle. We genuinely cannot tackle to save our lives. I've watched games this year of receivers beating our secondary on a 1v5. Untouched. Can't tackle. We didn't force our first turnover of the year until our fourth game of the year. You know how many turnovers we currently sit at this current moment of the season? 4.
Just want to guess 2.
Well, we're at 4. And we are, 7 games in?
8-ish. Another team that's surprising me, moving on. Texas A&M.
I can't enjoy football season with how bad they are. I can't.
I get that.
This genuinely sucked for me.
You want to just rock with Oregon for the rest of the year?
No. I'd rather bleed black and gold till the day I die, but Jesus fuck. I get 12 of these Saturdays a year.
Because you guys ain't making any postseason or...
We did last year and got our asses handed to us by LSU. When Brom left.
Moving on to the Texas A&M and LSU game.
I'm telling you, it's so bad. I can't do it. It's taking years off my life, man. I get 12 of these Saturdays a year, and I got to spend them all pissed off because my team can't do anything.
Giants just held the Steelers to a 4th and goal from the 5. He got sacked about the 10. Looking at these stats for this LSU Texas A&M game, oh boy, does LSU not have a running game?
No.
24 rushing yards. You want to know what's really sad? Let's check these player stats, shall we? Keep in mind, 24 rushing yards for LSU. For Texas A&M, Amari Daniels, 12 carries, 91 yards. Le'Veon Moss, 14 carries, 83 yards. Their backup quarterback, Marcel Reed, 9 carries, 62 yards. 3 players on Texas A&M outrushed LSU's whole team. 3 of them, 2 of them doubled or over doubled their total. No, all 3 of them over double, maybe triple LSU's total running game. But hey, LSU can throw that ball. 405 passing yards. They had more total yards than Texas A&M. They had more first downs. They had the ball for about a little over a minute less than Texas A&M. The big difference, LSU even had more total plays. But LSU threw 3 picks compared to 0 picks for A&M. A&M only had 1 fumble. LSU had none. So, this is ugly for LSU.
Yeah.
But they're still ranked 16th somehow. So,
speaking of the rankings, Have you seen how bad these are?
Let's go over it. Number 1, you got best team, Oregon.
Based.
2, you got Georgia, who is 6-1. Then you got Penn State, who's undefeated at 3, 7-0. Ohio State, 6-1 at 4. Miami, 8-0 at 5. Texas, 7-1 at 6. Tennessee, 6-1 at 7. Notre Dame, 7-1 at 8. BYU, 8-0 at 9. Texas A&M, 7-1 at 10. Iowa State, 7-0 at 11. Which they tied with Clemson for the amount of votes for the 11th spot. So somehow that means Clemson gets pushed down to 12. And they're 6-1. IU 8-0 at 13. Alabama 6-2 at 14. Boise State 6-1 at 15. LSU 6-2 at 16. Kansas State 7-1 at 17. Pittsburgh 7-0 at 18. Ole Miss 6-2 at 19. SMU 7-1 at 20. Army 7-0 at 21. Washington State 7-1 at 22. Colorado 6-2 at 23. Illinois 6-2 at 24. Missouri 6-2 at 25. What's your issue with this?
Number 1, Miami should be ahead of Ohio State.
Penn State and Miami should be ahead of Georgia and Ohio State because they are undefeated and they both have 1 loss.
Number 2, BYU should at least be ahead of Notre Dame.
They should be top 5 or 6 because, again, they are undefeated.
Number 3, IU is 8-0 and 13.
That works for me.
As much as I hate to say that, do the rankings justice. But the biggest one, what in the fuck is Mizzou doing at 25? After just getting smacked.
They're undefeated at home.
At Alabama.
That's the only thing I can think of is they're undefeated at home.
Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Missouri has no business being ranked in the top 25 after this past week. No business.
You're not going to get an argument with me, but that's just how the AP polls work.
And that's why the AP poll is a joke until the CFB rankings come out. Then that is what matters.
Neighbors dropped it. Ball was kind of low.
Hit it right in the chest, though.
It was more like the dick. It only hit him in the chest because he fucking bent over.
Well, even still, an NFL receiver and that open, he still should catch
Greg
that.
Joseph, the kick is up.
No, he snuck it in.
And it's good. Right down the middle.
What about you? You got any thoughts on the rankings?
Georgia and Ohio State should not be in top 5.
I would argue top 5, but low top 5. Like 3, 4, maybe 5. Not top 2, 3.
I'll give you that. I don't know, because you have an argument for Miami, BYU, and IU being undefeated, plus Pittsburgh's undefeated. Army is undefeated, which Army's not going to get up that high.
No.
So you have 3 teams that are undefeated that are going down to at least 18. if you have a loss and there's other teams that are undefeated, they should go ahead of you.
Yeah.
I don't care about strength of schedule, anything like that. If you are undefeated, you deserve.
Who was it?
If you are undefeated, you deserve to be one of the top teams in the nation.
I mean, that was how Florida State got screwed out last year. They went 13-0. Jordan Travis got hurt in the last game of the season. They get left out of the playoffs for Bama.
Just because they didn't think that they could compete without the quarterback, which they couldn't.
But I will say, the committee did them really fucking wrong, leaving them out of the playoffs, but then scheduling them to go play Georgia, of all teams, while every one of their starters stayed to play the game. The committee really fucked up there. Not only did they give them the middle finger, but they gave them 2 middle fingers.
You're not wrong. I do want to touch up on something big. Ashton Genty briefly left the UNLV game with an injury. He went to brace himself, falling down, being tackled, and injured his arm somehow. Apparently he came back in. Boise State still got the win. I am not seeing anything about if he's going to miss time or anything like that. But however, Genty got his arm taped up and quickly returned into the game for the Broncos. So we are going to have to keep an eye on how he performs. See if that injury holds him back at all. But that's about all that I have.
Yep, so.
Because he should win the Heisman. I mean,
there's no question.
If he doesn't,
it's not a debate.
I get it. Like you said previously, nobody does what Travis Hunter does. Mm-hmm. Both sides of the ball, super effective. But Genty is on pace still to break almost every rushing record in college football. Records that we thought would never be touched again.
Yeah.
He still has 4 or 5-ish games to reach 2,000 yards, and he's what, 1,300?
Yeah,
he averages just over 200 a game. Let's see who Boise State has left on their schedule. They host San Diego State this week. They host Nevada. They go to San Jose State. They go to Wyoming, and they're home against Oregon State. So their last 5 games are very winnable.
Yeah, they are.
It looks like
easily winnable.
Wilson fumbled. Oh yeah. How do you pronounce that name? Okereke came up, punched the ball out. 4.5 minutes left in this game. The Giants trail 26-18. They just got the ball back. Think they're gonna make a comeback?
No.
Yeah, me either. I don't have faith in this team at all. Can't wait till we play them again. This Steelers defense looks confused. that safety's playing 20 yards back. One player on this Steelers defense who, I don't want to say he's surprising me, but he's playing really, really good. His dad was in the league. I think he played linebacker. Joey Porter Jr.
Oh, yeah. The safety.
Safety / corner.
Yeah.
He has been locking people up.
He was that dude in college, too.
And he is so lengthy and quick. You could have him beat, but he's still just going to make a play somehow because he's so long. And he's an excellent tackler, too. Isn't he from, like, Illinois? Penn State. I knew it was a Big Ten team. So
I think that about wraps up tonight. You got anything else? I think we've covered everything on the agenda.
I don't think I have anything else. I mean, I'm sure I could get on TikTok and find something, but oh no, it looks like Tracy's walking off. He looks a little dazed.
Oh yeah, slam the back of the head on the turf. That'll do it.
He doesn't move for a second either once he hits the ground.
It stuns him.
Former Purdue Boilermaker,
And
Tyrone
Iowa
Tracy Jr. You said what?
And Iowa Hawkeye.
So hopefully nothing bad. Nothing that's going to hold him out. Get him! The way he falls down.
You got tripped. What do you mean? All right, I think this is gonna wrap up this episode.
So I think with that being said, make sure you follow all of our social medias. We will be posting the episode from October 10th here very soon. TJ Watt just punched it out of Daniel Jones' hands, and Steelers recover with 2:59 left in this game, and that's a wrap. Just gotta run the clock out, hold the ball. Steelers will walk out and become 6-2. But it is the NFL. Anything could happen. Man, they were only, 19 yards out? And that's just a nice rip move.
Mm-hmm.
He honestly kind of got held, too. But, all right, anyway. Follow our social media. We will be posting episode from October the 10th here within next day or so. And then we got Thursday's episode. We got to get done editing, plus this one. So we'll be getting them out, all three within the next week and a half or so, 2 weeks. So go ahead and follow all of our social medias: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, if you got anything that you would like us to start talking about, or you got any points that we missed, let us know somehow on social media, any of those platforms. Comment on anything, and just we want to start interacting with you guys. So feel free to reach out to us, send us DM or something on any of those social medias, and you will also be kept up to date with them. So I think that's about it here on October the 28th. We wish you guys a happy and safe Halloween here in the next couple days. Make sure to check those candies. Make sure no one tampered with them. If you got kids and you're going to take them trick-or-treating, keep an eye on them. Make sure that they stay safe. And they also dress warm. It is colder now, especially when that sun goes down. So just have a safe and happy Halloween. And then not this Thursday, but we'll be back next Thursday, and we'll have a lot of football to talk about. So stay tuned. Follow all social medias. Reach out to us. We want to start interacting with you guys like we said. And if you got anything you want us to talk about, let us know. We'll definitely touch base with it. So that is it. We are out. You guys have a good night. Good.
Yep, we'll see you guys later.
Good almost 2 weeks, whatever.
Yep.
And once again, happy and safe Halloween.